Plate mechanics. We need to be strong and authoritative. Obviously, you have to do that in the field. Yeah, you have to be strong and authoritative. Behind the plate, guess what? Every pitch, you're there. I'm not saying they're all looking at you, but the reality is that's where the focus is at. I may be out in B and no one's paying attention to me unless something's going on. But behind the plate, you need to be strong. You need to make authoritative-like calls. They need to be clear, and you have to feel confident. Even if you're not confident, if you call somebody safe and you're not sure, you damn well better sell the fact that you think they're safe. It's as simple as that. Don't go like, I don't know, maybe it's hard to know. You are clear that it's a safe, it's out, whatever it might be. We do want to work the slot. Once again, slot, and there's specific numbers. Look at those. But the reality is this. If you find that space between the inside of the home plate and wherever the batter's set up, you need to be in the space here, which is called the slot. You're in between. You're in that unprotected area. I'm going to have a slide in just a second that shows it. Some say, well, I'm not protected. Yeah, you're protected. You got a mask. You got a cup. You're protected, okay? So do your best not to flinch, and it's not easy. I know it's not easy. But that's where the slot is. It changes. It's reversed on the right and left-handed batters, but you can see once again, I'm going to show you a little more specifically, but there, open space. Now, there's a misnomer may not be the right term, but misunderstanding, like, it'll always be. No, it will not always be clear. It will be much clearer, though. If you learn to work the slot, it will be clearer. Are there going to be times where the catcher moves over and all of a sudden you cancel? Yeah, it's going to happen. It's just a normal thing. But if you work the slot, you're going to see the outside corner of the plate and the whole plate a lot better than if you're doing this. We do not hide behind the catcher, and for what it's worth, in any situation, ever, we never touch players, but for any reason. Even if I'm just being a nice guy. And I work with Dan sometimes, so I think he likes me, okay? So let's pretend that Dan's like a 12-year-old girl. I can't go, man, that was a great play you made, Derek. No, I can't do that. The world we live in, whether you're being innocent or not, you know the world we live in. We can't do that. All right, so never touch the players. And I know in baseball I think it's acceptable. I don't know. I don't do baseball. The idea they're finding we don't do that. All right. The heel-toe stance, like Joe said, essentially keep yourself wide, keep your feet beyond your shoulders, look down at your feet. The toe of the inside foot should be back. If I swung it parallel, I should be hitting my heel the other. So there'd be a little stagger. It's not big, wide like this. Okay. What was this called? Is this the scissors? No. What was the scissors? I can't get up from the scissors anymore. But anyway, so you're here. If you think of it, be parallel, but then shift yourself back a little bit to where the toe of the inside foot basically would be hitting the heel of the other. And if you're an inch different than me, who cares? That doesn't matter. But you want to kind of be in that world. Eyes at the top of the zone. If you're doing 18s, and you will obviously, that's not too hard to be at the top of the zone. If you're doing 10s, it's a lot tougher to get to the top of the zone. I have to be honest, I don't think I'm at the top of the zone. I think I'm probably right above. I like looking down and into it. So can I do this all game? I can, yeah. But I'm probably more of, I'm here, I'm shooting right at the top of the zone. Where's the zone? What's the top of the zone, by the way? Exactly right. Give that guy a sticker. Now, I only have 4 S's. Joe had 5. Maybe there's 6 in some scenarios. But my point is this. Learn to say whatever, to speak, to stand, to signal. In my world, standing and signaling combine, because some people don't. Some people call it, they're quiet, they stand, and that's cool. But for me, my strike call has a tendency to be called and extend as I move up, and I'm going to show you in a second. Then you step back, just like we talked about. You step back because that lets you regroup, and it lets the catcher do whatever she needs to do. I'm going to wait until she commits to where she wants to be before I come in to do my thing. All right, a strike is vocal. The word strike comes out of your mouth. We give no description. Right on the corner, right down the middle. No, we don't do that. All right? We don't do any vocal for a swinging strike. If that happens, if you make a mistake, forgive yourself. and move on. But the reality is, if there's a swing and strike, we don't say anything. We just give the signal, step back, okay? It's going to happen.
Just as one of the things I was taught 15 years ago was don't enunciate the swinging strike. She's already embarrassed herself by swinging and missing it.
Yes.
Don't embarrass her more by letting everybody know she missed it. And that's why you don't enunciate it.
Timing, and I'm going to demonstrate here in just a second, really important. You have to get used to weight. You have to let the ball cross the plate. It has to hit the glove. You have to wait just a little longer. Then you make your call. All right, and I'm going to do my demo here in just a second. And it could be called, I'll call it, I extend it, I move up. Some people are a little different. That part's not a big deal at all. You got to stand up, then you step back. Don't just do an automatic step back. No, stand, step back. So this is what I do. Well, first of all, let's just say the catcher's thrown the ball back to the pitcher. I'm relaxed. I'm looking around. There's that coach. That guy caused me a problem yesterday. Wow, what a son of a bitch. No, I don't. I never say that. Wait a minute. Does she have a helmet on? Yeah, okay. Everything's good. Oh, look, there's that bird again. All right. No, I'm joking. But anyway, I'm relaxed. Okay, pitcher's walking up. I know what it takes her. I know, she's not fast. It takes her a long time to get ready. That's just her norm. So I know that. Okay, she's in there. Batter's coming in. Okay, I'm getting ready. I'm not down yet. There's no reason to go down early. You go down early, you're going to be down there a long time. So I know now by the rhythm, when she starts to make her motion to pitch, which means her arm, she's separating, I'm going to come down like this. My eyes are going to be at the top of the zone. That ball is going to come across. It's going to hit the glove. I'm going to wait. And then I'm going to go, hey! And we'll come up. And we'll step back. Now, I'm a height guy. Some guys are, huh. Some people are, I don't know. There's just a multitude. But along the way, I became a height guy. I like height. So once again, I'm here. Excuse me. Ball coming in. No question, it's a strike. Comes the middle. Hits. I wait. Hey! I step away. And I don't look for anybody to applaud me or say, hell of a call there, Blue. It was a hell of a call. So that's me. You're going to have to practice this. You're going to have to go home, stand in front of a mirror, explain to your significant other what you're doing, and do this continuously till you feel comfortable. Ball. By the way, one thing I noticed this year because this is from this year's mechanics book, look at this guy's, why's this guy got his, why's he resting one arm over here? I don't understand that. But anyway, I just thought I'd tell you that. That's not the proper mechanic. Why it's that way, I don't know. It's in this year's mechanic book. It could be. You're right. It's like he's ready to make a move. It is vocal. There is no verbal. There's no hand descriptions about where the ball is at. So you're not down here. Eyes a little outside. No, eyes a little bit low. Or is there any? No. A ball's a ball. You say the word ball. You back away just like you would have with a strike in a different way. The ball call is vocal, but it's not as loud. You say the word ball so that they hear you here, but it's not loud for a ball.
How about the obvious, the bowling for strikes? And it rolls on. Do you have to call ball?
Yes. I say that because once again, like Joe or somebody mentioned, a lot of what we do is muscle memory. Right. So you don't want to pick and choose I don't need to say anything this time. Foul ball. I don't go big time with foul balls if everybody knows it's got 50 feet in that direction. I do find myself though, if it's a foul ball, I will do this because once again it's my muscle. Just do. I'm not saying anything out loud. That's foul ball. Everybody knows it. If it's a foul ball that needs to be vocal, I'll be much more vocal. But yes, I would say we do that. Yes.
I taught the same thing for selling a call. Same thing with ball. So if it's a bowling ball, I just go ball. But if it's close, I'll go ball.
I don't have a problem with that. The slight inflection, what I would stay clear of is the loud one. I agree. The one that's coming in here, ball. The one that's tight, ball. But I'm still staying down. Yeah. What I'm not going to go is ball. You know what I mean? You got to keep it down. It's not the same way to do
Rick,
it.
if I can just,
sure.
Since you want to say ball constantly, is if you don't, they think maybe you didn't see the pitch or you weren't paying attention. So if you get into the habit of always saying ball, they know you're watching the pitch. The other thing is with that guy on his hand on his thigh, one of the reasons you don't want that there is if you get hit with that pitch with your hand on that thigh, there's no give. And that's gonna hurt a lot more than if you hang your hand down between your legs. The ball's gonna hit you, it's still gonna hurt, but it's gonna get you some give. Or maybe like Ava, the catcher, she may put it behind, she may have been taught to put it behind her knee. But putting it there, the reason you don't want it there is when it gets hit, there's no give. It's gonna hurt a lot more than if your hand's hanging down.
And that's a good point. When I come down and do this, I'm just doing this for demonstration. It really, if they're kind of light, I'm not like just down, I'm not on top of my knees. They're just kind of basically touching. There are some people I've worked with that put the hand behind. I feel very uncomfortable. I can't move, but that's me. If this is good for you, if you can put your hands behind and still feel like you can get up to do things, more power to you. But for me, I'm down here. They're just barely hitting. They're not like supporting my weight or anything. All right, once again, timing, same thing. If it's a ball, if it's over top of her head, I'm still here. The ball's over top of her head. I saw it go over top of her head. I'm going to wait a half a second. I'm going to say ball. I'm going to stand up and I'm going to step back. It's that muscle memory thing. Doesn't matter how close, far away, etc.
Rick, what if the ball's bouncing in and it's coming towards you? Should you just stay in position and get hit?
Yes.
Or should you move out of the way so that you don't interfere with the play?
You should stay in place and be hit. At least that's what I feel. Yeah, because I don't want to move to make her job, their job easier. Yes?
You mentioned before not specifying where the ball was.
Yes.
As a catcher, I've had coaches tell me to ask the umpire where it is.
Mhm.
Are we able to respond? to
Good
the
point.
location?
Very good point. And the answer is yes. Now, there's a difference between the coach asking and the catcher asking. Okay? If a catcher asks me nicely, I'm sure you're nice about what you do. Like,
I try to be.
where was that at, Blue? I don't have a, and they're just being nice. Like, where was that at, Blue? I said, it's an inch or two off the plate. Oh, thank you. I don't have a problem with that. Now, if you did that with every pitch, to me it would be like, do you really? I think you're just trying to undermine my authority here. If a coach asks me early on, if I call a ball or whatever, and they're saying, where was that, Blue? That first time, and this is not written anywhere, but that first time I might say, Coach, that was about 3 inches off the plate. Communicate with your catcher all game, and I'll talk to her every single time. And from that point on, because I'm not entertaining the coach's continuous asking. If they want to go through their catcher, I think that's fine. Yeah.
Is that part of the beginning phase of coming to the game when you tell the coaches, hey, I can only talk to one person all day?
Well, no, it could be, but, and I think we're going to talk about this in a more extended as time goes on. The better pregame conference with the coaches, say the least. You know what I mean? Like they'll say, hey, by the way, do this, and don't do that to me, and you know what I mean? They'll learn after a while, like, oh, that's that guy. He doesn't put up with any crap, or he does, whatever it might be. So,
Rick, I went to a pregame conference and the umpire was like, first I want to thank you, coaches. I want to thank you for being here because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be able to do this, and I love doing this, and this is a great job, and I really, like Rick said, it should be about a minute.
yeah, and we'll talk more about that. Yeah.
About trying to avoid the ball,
Yes.
you should definitely not get in the habit of trying to avoid a ball. Your protective equipment is designed to protect you in that position. If you try to avoid a ball, you change the dynamics of how your equipment works. And you can make yourself more susceptible to get hurt, getting behind a pad, getting behind a mask or something of that nature, flinching, turning.
Same thing you
anything.
tell catchers,
Yeah.
right?
You don't want to take it
Yeah,
in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want, it's the same
But
thing.
if you stand strong right there, your equipment is designed to work. You don't have to worry about it.
It's a good point. And forgive me, I can't remember who asked, but do you get out of the way? Well, if I'm here and that ball comes in and it's it's moving in quick and it's bouncing, and it's past the catcher. I'm moving now. I'm pivoting because if she's moving to her left, I'm going to open up and let her move to her left. If she's moving to her right, I'm going to open up and let her move to her right. But if I'm just here and I'm seeing that ball come to me, I'm going to stand there and let it hit me. And hopefully I'll be on.
Go ahead, Scott.
When you're talking about location and conferring with coaches, unfortunately, as you first start to officiate, you're going to be at a lot lower level. You're going to be in the 10Cs, you're going to be in the 12s. Catchers are not real in tune with realities. What I would suggest is you start climbing the ranks and start it with the 10s and 12s. As soon as that athlete comes out, good morning, good afternoon, I'm Scott. I'll be your umpire for today. I'll communicate location with you to the best of my ability. I'd rather not talk to your coach, higher levels, right? But start that early on. Those catchers should be coming out and knowing who they're protecting. Hey, have a good game today. I'm gonna be calling balls and strikes for you. If you have a question about where something is, just ask me. All right, I think that's the best way to go. But as Rick said, when you get the younger kids, you also have younger coaches, you're gonna have to address it at some point in time, and I think what Rick proposed is best. You may have to go over in between innings too and casually say, Coach, not every pitch, right? Not every pitch.
Right.
So it's situational.
You're right.
Mechanics question.
Mhm.
Obviously, if obvious fly ball and foul ball, you're just gonna do that. Let
Yes.
everybody know you've seen it. Do you expect your base umpire to answer you? There's nothing in the rule books,
Right.
mechanics manual says they should, there's nothing that says they shouldn't.
I think somewhere, it is written somewhere, and that'll be one of my research things tonight. We don't. No, we don't. And the reason we don't do that is because, let's say, and I'm not going to go into the deepness of this, but let's say an umpire does this and then they do this, because I was on the field when that happened. Well, this was a 3 umpire at that moment. One of the people, they're up like this. Well, they've called but it's not, and no. So we don't signal. We just, because let's say we're an A and it's some fair foul situation that they've taken care of. They got a base coach. That's what the base coach is for, to tell them, come on, Mary, or you need to go back, or whatever. So we don't. It should not be our habit to do that. Do you feel that's right, John? Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's kind of on the same topic. What if it's like hit by pitch or foul ball that hits her in the box? And sometimes as a plate umpire, you don't have the best angle for that. Do you want your field?
Yes. Well, that's different though. If
I'm correct.
Yeah. If I am 100% sure as a base umpire that she was hit by a pitch somehow, and my plate umpire was blocked, I'll wait a half a second to make sure that because maybe they got hit and they have to get their head together quickly to say something. But if I know that they didn't see it, no question, you're going dead ball. And if it's if it's like straight in and hitting, you don't have to say anything else. But if it's a batted ball that goes down and then you know for sure it hits her, but you have no idea whether she's out of the box, you just say it hit her. But it's up to the plate umpire to decide whether she was out of the box. It's not up to us to say out because she's out, because we can't see. We're 60 feet away or 80 feet away. Okay? All right, so it's called in the down position. Ball is called in the down position, but you still, after you say ball, you still stand up. You still step back. You need to do that. Muscle memory every time. All right, you need to develop a called third strike mechanic. People are different. I don't do this one, but this one is the bow and arrow, I believe. And, so it's 3-2, ball comes in, batter doesn't swing. You have to have something that's more definitive. So a lot of people will say, ha! Or something like that. I saw the strike 3, she's out, there's no question. Many, many years ago, the great Bernie Privado, I say that every year, but I like to remember his name, told me, and I still do this, when it's strike 3, I go, ha, hoo, ha. I don't go strike 3, but that was what was ingrained in me when I was much younger. And I do that, but you can see, it needs to be clean, quick. I'm not going to do it, but you've seen the videos I've seen online, there's no dancing, running around. No, it's something clean and quick, but you have to develop that. And if you haven't umpired before, or if you're real new to it, that probably feels weird, because it's like, well, I don't want people to look at me. You got to come up with it. You got to say, this is it, this is what I do, and then you move on.
Rick,
Swinging
everybody
third
knows
strike?
what Rick.
Not a swinging third strike. Swinging third strike is a swinging third strike,
Don't embarrass her, hands off. Yep, that's-
just like if it was the first pitch of the game.
No, everybody noticed Rick was always looking out.
Yep.
You don't do a side baseball
Mhm.
strike, and one of the reasons is you don't have 4 umpires on the field, 1 at each base. So you've got to keep your
Right.
eyes out there on the field and what's happening on the field. So your strike call is going to be looking forward. Don't turn to the side like a baseball umpire would do.
That would actually be the same with anything. If you're moving away from the plate, if you're clearing because the catcher has let a ball go past, and now the ball's back here, I shouldn't be looking here. No, I need to see where it's at, but I also need to see what might be developing in front of me too. All right, so you need to do that. Use the strike zone that's stated in the rule book, okay? Which is the forward armpit, top of the knees. You can do anything you want to. You're a human being. You can do anything you want to. But if you use the word sternum, doesn't exist in our world. Okay, so you can't say, well, I'm calling the sternum. Well, that means you're making something up. You're making up your own strike zone, because that is the NCAA uses sternum, whatever, etc. Or if you're saying, well, I'm gonna go toes to nose. I know you can say that being funny with your partner, but no, use the forward armpit and the knees. And this is a mechanics video, or excuse me, a picture from the Fed, and they want us. They felt like we weren't given the high strikes, and I agree. It says any part of the ball that physically touches forward armpit or knees is a strike. Now, the red are not, the yellow are, the orange are questionable. Is this top part of the ball hitting the top part of the knees? Yes, it is. And I'm not a proponent of saying, well, as we move up the rank, well, when we get to 18s, well, you're working with a bread box. No, you're still working with this. At a 10U game, if that ball's coming in nice and solid, catcher's catching it, I could see myself calling that as a strike. And I'd say the same thing here. To be honest with you, that's forward armpit. Rick Morris's game, he's calling that in a 10 and a 12 and probably a 14. I like to see the ball come down, but use that as your guideline. Don't come up with something else like, well, that's the letters, that's the numbers. No, it's forward armpit. Everybody's got an armpit. It's easy to see it. Is your hand up? Oh.
Is there any distinction about the sides of the zone? We know that any part of the ball touches the side of the zone.
Yes.
It's a strike. With the top and the bottom, is there any distinction with it? The entire ball has to be within that zone, or is it the same as the sides where it can be like the lace?
It's the same. That's why I'm saying that if that ball was another inch or two lower, by rule, you feel like it clipped that zone, by rule, you're right, you are correct. But the farther it goes down, the tougher of a sell it's going to be, especially as you move up the ranks. And like I say, I'm not saying that with 10-year-olds it's here, and now here's 12. That's 14. We're going to say, no, this is not it. And I've heard it many times before. Well, Blue, you can't. That's not what happens. My girl's going to college, which is great. I think that's really fine. But this is not the University of Bachman here. This is just a youth game that we're playing under a certain amount of rules. So think of it that way. But yes, if you think of the strike zone as a plexiglass box, in other words, there's a plexiglass box above the plate, and it's the same shape as the plate, and it's from here to here, and it's the width. If any ball that clicks it, nicks it somehow, is legally a strike. Sir.
Is the zone for softball, not the zone, it's the box, 3x7?
Yes.
Okay, great. So now when that lady in that box moves back,
Yes.
her foot is allowed to be on that back line, is that correct?
It has before the ball is pitched, her foot has to be completely in, which means there can't be any part of her foot outside before the ball is pitched.
So let's say her foot's all the way in the back line, she's judged to be legally in the
She's
box.
in, okay.
Where those pitches are going over the plate are completely different because it's 7 feet we're talking about.
Right.
From the front of the box to the back of the box. So you're gonna say, hey, my relative point is line to line on the plate, 17 inches, right? Plate 17?
Yes.
Good, but it's a completely different zone.
The zone is always over the plate. The zone is and I think it's next weekend or whenever. I have a graphic by Dave Pabst who has this box, and it's a good one. But the zone doesn't move back. The zone doesn't move up. The zone stays right here. So if she moves all the way back, it's still right here. If that ball comes, especially a 10-year-old, clips that and hits right in front of the catcher, it could easily be a strike because she's moved all the way back. The zone stays over the plate. And and this is another thing we all have to do, and it's not easy, but it'll come with time. Learn the shortest little phrases that you can say to the coaches. You don't have to explain the rule book. Blue, it hit the ground. The strike zone's over the plate, sir. That's there. The strike zone's over the plate. If you can cut things into little, as opposed to let's talk about that a while about what. You see what I'm saying?
Rick, just to pull that thread a little more. From the plate to the back of the box is 3 foot. It's not 6
Yes,
foot.
it's from the middle of the plate back is 3. They have the 4 in front
Front.
to accommodate
So
the
you
world
do 3
softball.
foot, and what you can actually have is a strike at the plate and at the ankles by the time it gets to the player, but it's still a strike.
Yes,
because
right.
As you noted, it went over the plate.
But the zone is above the plate.
Right.
And once again, use it all. Use it all. If a pitcher, my daughter used to be a pitcher a long time ago, if she hit the corner, why isn't the umpire giving her the corner? It's the zone. That's what it is. So, no offense, Scott Snyder, I hope that you work the Alabama-Florida State game coming up real soon. But that's not what we're working. We're working 10s, 12, and even the 18. And we see a lot of good ball. We see real good ball. I like to think that U-Trip ball is high school ball. It's high school ball. That's what it is. It's high school ball. And if you do high school ball, you see a lot of great high school ball. And you see some mediocre high school ball. And you see some crappy high school ball. But that's just the way it is. And it's the same thing out here. You see some, but that doesn't mean that girl's not going to have an excellent day today. Maybe she's on a crappy team. But today she smacks a home run. It's the best day of her life. You better know what you're doing as you go out to make the calls.
Rick, if I can just, one other thing, and I'll mention this on chapter 7 too, but you talked about the foot being on the line. And
Yes.
In the batter's box is the only time that she must be completely in that area.
Right.
No portion of her foot can be outside of that box when the pitcher starts her pitch.
Mhm.
Any place else, as long as you have your foot partially on a line, you're considered in that area. But in the batter's box prior to the pitch, you must be completely in there. So her heel can't be on the edge and her toe sticking out in the river.
No. As all umpires, but certainly as a plate umpire, we got like 8 or 10 things we have to think of every single time. So I'm here, I'm looking down at her foot. Her back heel is about 3 inches out. I just go like this. I say, because by rule, they can't pitch until she's completely in. As I'll just say, your foot is like 3 inches, it needs to move in. Of course, we may not know that 3 inches, like later in the day when there's no box there, but when that box is there, it's pretty easy to see. All right. Now, behind the plate, in the slot, and don't be like, if the catcher's moving her glove, that's interesting, but it doesn't have anything to do with whether the ball was a strike or not. So, to me, that's a strike. To me, that's a strike. To me, that's a strike. Depending on the scenario, to me, this could easily be a strike. Because I know it's kind of skewed, but that, to me, forward armpit, it's right about there. She gets hit. You get hit. Once again, accept the fact that you're going to get hit. If you're my partner, I'm behind the plate and you're in the field, and I flinch, because I'm a human, I will at times, but if I flinch, I'm kind of pissed at myself, forgive me. And you'll see me going like this. It's like, don't do that anymore, Rick. Stop doing that. Don't do. If you ever see me, if you're working with me and I'm doing this, it's because I must have flinched. It's hard not to do, but the reality is, you know what feels good is when you get hit in the mask and you're saying, I don't feel anything. But everybody's, oh, Blue, are you okay? And you're thinking like, yeah, I'm okay, everything's good. Everybody's sympathetic. It's the only time they'll be sympathetic for the entire game. So accept it for a few seconds if you can. All right, here's just some other things. Give the count when the next pitch results in strike 3 or ball 4. Okay, don't go out and say, we're at 1-1 now. No, you give it when either it's going to be ball 4 or strike 3. That's when we give the count. With some exceptions, after a long delay, let's say that, I don't know, someone's injured and it's taken a few minutes, and that wouldn't be such a bad thing. If it was an 0-1 count and there's a girl stealing second, my partner runs out up to make the call, etc. Now they're looking at me, I could easily go like, come on, we're at 1-1 now. But generally speaking, I'm not doing this. We're not public announcers unless...
You're not saying 1-1.
What's that?
You say 1 ball, 1 strike.
You shouldn't be saying 1 ball, 1 strike. But if Joe comes up to second and he didn't know what just happened, I will be looking at him because he didn't know what the call was. Yes, Scott.
I always give it after a steal as well. So
Yes,
if
yeah,
there's a
that's what I
steal-
was saying there. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but that long delay steal, did I have it with steal here? No, I didn't. But we use consecutive fingers. No one's going to get really terribly mad at you if you do the Longhorn thing. That's not what we do. We're going 1-1, 2, 2, 3, 2. That's by rule. That's what we try to do. Yeah. And just like Bob Hamburg said, say the words, it's 3 ball, 2 strike. It's not 32. It's not 32. It's not 3-2 or count as full. Now, I have some really good umpires I work with, nameless at this moment in time, that I think are great umpires. I have somebody that will do that. 3 balls, 2 strikes, The count is full. You don't do the count is full. We know the count's full because it's 3-2. All right. Don't say 32. Who's 32? 32. O.J. Simpson. Yeah. Yeah. Don't. Or any of those other.
We would have an umpire do 1, 2, 12, Fran Tarkington.
Yeah, exactly
I
right.
don't know that any of those 10-year-olds knew who.
They have no idea. No. I don't think anybody knows that O.J. Simpson was a football player anymore. All right. A foul tip is not a foul ball. Foul tip is a ball that hits the bat and goes directly and sharply to the catcher's mitt and is caught, either immediately or eventually. So you're just showing everybody, you saw it. Yep, I saw it, and it's a strike. But we see a lot of, that's foul tip. No, it's not a foul tip. If the ball hits the bat and goes up on the backstop, that's a foul ball. It's not a foul tip. I know it's semantics, it's a word. Every time we can sound a little more professional, we will. Yes?
I'm sorry, to get back to the last one.
Yeah, right.
Matter which hands you use for balls and
Yes.
strikes?
What was that again? Oh, yes. Left hand for the balls, right hand for the strikes.
Because I see sometimes umpires do this.
And I don't have a problem with that. I think that I'm going to use NCAA. Didn't they like a couple years ago say, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're going like this. Right. We're not going to do this. But I don't see this as a problem, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about that, John.
We usually just keep it straight.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, especially if you're just doing it slowly, like you're doing like this. I mean, if you're going like this, then it might be tough for someone to see. Josh, did you have a question?
I did. On the next slide, a foul tip is still a live ball, so someone can steal. We had
Yes.
a big argument with the coach.
Yes.
Like, no,
That's one of the things too, like ball hits, and let's say it's you can hear it very easily. It hits, catcher catches it. We're doing that because we're essentially saying, yeah, I saw it. It's a live ball. And that would be one of those things where you would just have to say, I'm sorry, coach, you're wrong. And move on. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes.
So, a couple years ago, I thought the rule changed on what a foul tip is, and I know it used to be directly in the net.
I think it still says directly and sharply.
We're traditionally baseball people.
Yes, that's cool.
So
That's
in
cool.
baseball, there was a rule change where it can actually hit the mask, and then if it's caught, that's still a foul tip. Wow.
In softball, if the ball goes from the pitch, goes from the bat, hits the catcher's glove, then hits some part of her body, and she gets a hold that hits her body, then that still is a foul tip.
Okay.
Right.
I
Okay.
think the word is legally caught.
Yeah, as long as it's legally caught, yes.
Legally caught.
But it's because it went directly to the glove first.
Yeah.
If it would've went straight back and hit the athlete in the mask and then been caught.
Yeah, that's foul ball. Yeah.
You got it out? If it hits her in the mask and then she catches it? Isn't that a foul ball?
In baseball.
I don't know. John Dewey, I'm sorry, I'm lost. We have That's a
If it
foul.
hits the catcher
It's a
first,
foul ball, yeah.
It's a foul ball.
It's a foul ball. Everything that applies to the
Like
foul
in
ball
defense.
world,
But
yeah.
if it hits the glove, goes up, hits her mask, and then she catches it, it's a foul tip because it's going through her glove.
Yes,
and
but
she's legally caught.
bat to glove now makes that either a foul tip or a foul ball, depending on this.
But if it hits that, it goes up.
No, then it's hit.
Catch, but it's a
But
legal
no,
catch.
on that scenario, it's hit something that makes it a foul ball because it's hit the backstop. It's not part of the playing field.
No,
That's
I
the.
don't think was
Isn't that what you said?
or was it
Yeah.
different? It hits the
Oh,
glove,
hits her
the
mask, I'm
goes up,
sorry.
and then she catches it.
So long as it
It's still a
doesn't.
legal
Yeah,
catch.
so long as it didn't hit the
It's still a legal
backstop.
catch.
Yeah, it's a legal catch.
Hold on, I'm confused.
Step in here. Am I missing something?
It
Yeah.
hits the mask.
His first.
First
The
of
first
all,
thing it hits is the mask.
That's a foul ball.
Okay.
That's an immediate foul ball.
Even if it pops up in the air, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe forgive me if I got the wrong.
Make sure that-
Yeah,
But if it hits
Yeah.
the glove first.
Hits the glove
then
first.
pops up,
Correct.
But you still catch it.
yeah. Then you'd have a foul ball.
It
Can be
Right.
a foul.
it's legally caught, if it's legally
Right.
caught, yes.
All right. Please use these things. Use the do not pitch. Use the play. You'll know there's a pitcher. She wants to go all the time. Be very demonstrative. Be out there. Like no, don't pitch. Especially if the batter's not in, she's doing everything legally. You're out. Hopefully, you don't have to lean too far out here, but you're out here. All right. And when they can play, if the ball's hit, it's a foul ball or whatever the reason is, get in the habit of pointing. You can point and you can be verbal if you wish to, but you have to at least point. So every time, get used to the idea of okay, balls in play, and so you're pointing. All right. So get used to that.
Technically, you should put the ball in play after every dead ball.
Yeah.
A lot of umpires just come stand behind the catcher and then the pitcher pitches. Technically, you should say play.
Yeah,
Point.
I had an extremely smart coach a few years ago said, well, Blue, you didn't, I called an illegal pitch on it. You didn't put the ball back in play. And I had to lie. I'm sorry, I had to lie. I said, oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't do it at all. But because I'm thinking like, well, that guy's right. You know, I didn't put the ball back in play. But I said, you just didn't see me do it. You know, I kind of would have. No. So now forgive me. I'm just telling you the truth there. But yeah, I'm every time, every foul ball comes back in, you don't have to make any big deal out of it at all. You don't have to be verbal. I'm not verbal, but when the ball comes back in, good. Now, that means that now the runners are, have to do what the runners have to do. Everybody has to do what they have to do because the ball is live now. All right, run scores. There's 2 outs. Something happens. The run does score before the 3rd out. Then you're going to be clear and point and say run scores. If the run doesn't score, you need to be clear about that too. Run does not score. Those are the prescribed mechanics. We'll talk a lot more about dead ball and delayed dead ball in the future. Dead ball, of course, could be a foul ball. Foul ball is a dead ball. Or it could be interference, can be a dead ball. A dead ball can happen after obstruction, after is a delayed dead ball, and then eventually becomes a dead ball. A delayed dead ball is I saw something, I'm going to explain it in a moment. That's what it is in the softball world. So obstruction, which we'll talk about, that means I saw it, and no one's paying any attention to me. They're not looking at me whatsoever, but I'm out there. I saw something. Once this play is ended, then I'm going to say dead ball and explain what happens. Or an illegal pitch, which we'll talk about in the future too. That means I just saw an illegal pitch. Okay? I'm going to explain what I saw and go through the rulings in a moment. So, the point, once again, sometimes the point's an important thing to use. It's good, like, no question, I saw that. She's out. And, of course, doing this is safe. We know that. But it's also good for the no catch or the no tag. So if you turn and go and there is no catch. So it looks like she had it, but she doesn't have it. No, you're doing this. So everyone knows now that it was a no catch. Or maybe let's say you're in C. Shortstop there's a runner at second. Shortstop hits the ball. She turns around to tag the runner, but she doesn't tag the runner, even though she's going to tell you she did. Everybody's going to tell you she did. But she missed the runner, and you see it. That's it. You're just signaling that no. That she's not out and the play continues. And it makes no difference other than I'm just telling you. The home run is supposed to be the fist as opposed to the finger. If you use the finger up, it's not going to. Are you going to ding him on that one, John? I might. I don't know. But anyway, it's fist. I'm letting you know. And get used to saying two-base award when it needs to be said. It's not ground rule double. Ball hits. Rolls under the fence, it's not a ground rule double. Ball hits, bounces over the fence, it's not a ground rule double. It's two-base award. That's something specifically written into the rules. So get used to saying that's a two-base award. It'll keep you out of trouble. And once again, it's a good thing to come up with that little short sentence that you can say. It's not like, well, I saw it this way, but whenever, no, it's a two-base award.
Back to the other one, fly ball to the outfield, the outfielder's playing it but misses it?
Yes.
I thought you just point to the ground as a fair ball.
Well, you can. I don't have a problem with that, but since we're focusing on the idea of mechanics, and by the way, if you guys are doing high school ball this year, you may see some of these because you may or may not know I'm the rules interpreter for the high schools. I'm using a lot of these slides. So you may see some of these things again. This simply is the way it's stated in mechanics. If you were out there, if you turned in A and you went and you were going like this, I don't think anybody's going to say anything because we know what you mean. But I'm like, what is the right way to do it? The right way is to do that. You may do this and point again because you may be saying no because I see it on the ground. That part I understand. I don't think that's a problem. And of course, the infield fly situation, which we'll talk about more. To me, do this for me. If it's been a long day and it's not the 19th infield fly situation in this game, still do it. Still do it. And as a partner, I'm going to look at you and go like, yes, gee, again it is. Yes, I'm not just going to say, I don't care, I don't want to do it. It looks lazy if like someone's doing this and you're not doing that. And then when it's over, mechanically, you're supposed to wipe it off. Whether it's the 115th time today, it's like, let's do that one more time. And I look at you and say, okay, let's do that. It's one of those things that we do. All right. Let me show you a couple videos, okay? And we'll be done. Yes, sir.
Sort of the last that one, the infield fly. When we where we're pointing, once we know it's an infield fly, are you required to say infield fly as well?
If you're in the field, the only thing you're doing is giving your opinion. So if you're out here and you're seeing something that you think is an infield fly, you're doing this. What you're telling the plate umpire is, this is what I see. Use my information or don't use my information. Okay, because there's been times I've pointed and it's not been called by the home plate because they saw a different angle. So I'm not saying anything verbally in the field. Behind the plate, yes, you're saying infield fly, and then you could easily also say infield fly if fair, because if that ball is anywhere near the fair foul line, and it doesn't matter that it hits fair, no one touches it, rolls foul, someone picks it up, then that's simply a foul ball. Okay, but yeah, it's more the play. It's the plate umpire's call. It's up to us to give them information. This is what I'm seeing. Or if I don't know, I'm not doing anything. But once they call it, that's what it is.
It's also, isn't that one of the rules that applies even if it's not said verbally? Like, even if you don't call it, it's still.
You can retroactively call it. It would be an excellent idea if we didn't. But I think the only reason that would happen shouldn't be because I changed my mind about whether the difficulty. It should be like, gee, I didn't realize we had first and second with less than 2 outs. So